We're going to shift now into some of our customers and revolutionaries speaking about their experiences with Couchbase. I'd like to welcome our next speakers, Jonathan Summerfield from Xiatech and Tom Wakeford from FitFlop. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Yeah. Good. Well, if you thought he talked quickly, I talk even quicker. And I've got 10 times the amount of slides as well, so I've got a lot catching up to do. But thank you for having me. I'm Jonathan Summerfield from a company called Xiatech. We're both a partner and a customer of Couchbase, and we'll tell you why in a minute. But we've built a system integration and continuous data platform, and right at the heart of that is Couchbase. And we're going to show you, I think, some of the reference architectures you just saw are probably quite relevant to what we've done. So first of all, it helps me just to understand who my audience are. So I'm sorry to do this, but could I get you all to stand up if you can, please? All stand up. Brilliant. I've got to say you did that a lot quicker than the American audience when I did it in New York. They didn't quite understand my accent, or they didn't want to, I don't know. I know this is a technical track, but first of all, anyone with a kind of businessy type slant, can you sit down, please? Brilliant, 2 of you. Oh, you can as well. Yeah, go on. Right, so you're all reasonably technical then, is that right? Okay, so none of you are allowed to ask any questions at the end at all. I can't answer. I'll try. But we're going to have time for some questions at the end, but I just wanted to stand you up and get you a bit refreshed. So you can sit down a little bit, if that's all right. Or you can stay standing up if you really want to throw stuff and whatever. So thank you very much for coming here. I will be introducing in a minute, and we're delighted to have one of our customers here today, Tom from FitFlop. We're going to talk about how we've actually used our technology, which includes Couchbase, in their organization and what it's done to enable them as a digital transformation. So this is our platform, a single data view platform. It really does what it says on the tin. But we're going to talk quickly who we are. I'll go over that very, very quickly. Talk about some data challenges, how we solve them, and what the platform does. I will move between businessy and technical stuff so you understand what we've done. We're a consultancy. We do 3 things: strategy and architecture, program delivery, and we do integration and big data analytics. A few show-offy awards as well. Some of our customers, obligatory logo slide, and our platform. Right, so the first thing we do is we really, right at the heart of what we do, is event-based integrations. You heard this morning around how many interactions make up a transaction. We capture all of those interactions as events, and we feed them through into Couchbase. We therefore can hold that data in Couchbase as a single view of data, and that can be anything from customer to inventory to products, all in real time. And the third thing we do, because we have all that data available, we then provide that as a reporting platform. Now, just so you know, we're not here to sell our platform here today, but very delighted to come up and talk to me about what we've done. But the purpose of what we're going to do today is really tell you how we've used Couchbase right at the heart of what our platform does, because this is a Couchbase conference, not ours. Okay, so my clicker, right, so yeah, but look, we use mainly open source technology, and the only really licensable part of the platform is Couchbase, and that lives right at the heart of what we do. But we've really relied on the open source community to help us develop what we've got here as a platform, as a solution. So it's a bit of a fictitious scenario, but I'm sure most of you come from organizations where you have this. You have customer channels at the top, you have operational systems at the bottom, and you have a bunch of events going on all the time. That's all data flowing through your organization. We capture each of those events to our microservices integration layer, and it's all built within, well, we use Golang as our development language, and we expose those as Lambda functions running in AWS, and those microservices pick up those events and flow them all through real time, like this. Brilliant, done. And we hold all that data as a canonical data form within Couchbase. And Couchbase really helps us due to all the reasons you're probably here today, because we can hold this on a persistent basis as long as we like in memory, really fast read-write performance for us. And it's very important because if we are talking about customers, which Tom will in a minute talk to you about what they've done, we capture those events real time from, say, their e-commerce platform, move them through our microservices platform, and hold that data persistently in Couchbase. So I'll go back very quickly. And then what we do is we can pass that data real time into a different language, which we can then pass into the ERP language or the CRM language. So we are able to transform that data really light speed and really improve business operations. And that's what we've done at some of our clients, some of our customers. And then lastly, because we hold that data persistently, we're able to move that data into a data lake, which actually we use Google BigQuery. I'm delighted to hear that Couchbase have actually released an analytics platform, or will be in beta. We're definitely going to be looking at that. We may not need to move it to BigQuery. But for now, that's what we do. And then we overlay a bunch of visualization tools, whether that's Tableau or Power BI or any of those sorts of tools. And because we hold that data persistently, we're able to provide administration on any sort of GDPR type topics. All right. So that's really our platform. Everything in that blue box we have developed ourselves. We use technology from Couchbase, which sits in the single data view platform right there. So this is your picture moment. Done it? Good. Okay, I'll wait. Right, so that's really our platform, but I want to talk to you a little bit about why we did it, why we developed this, and how it's helped our customers. And a lot of this will probably resonate with a lot of you. I'm sure you've seen lots of different stats, but we kind of got this from a source which we believe to be true. 2.5 quintillion bytes of data are produced every day, and 90% of that data is unstructured, which is why we use something like Couchbase, for example. That data is equivalent to 10 billion Blu-ray discs, and that's 4 Eiffel Towers on a daily basis. How does that relate to you? So what's your Eiffel Tower in your business? Well, I'm sure many of you have your own data challenges, and that's probably why you're here today. But I'm sure all of these will resonate with you guys. So if I can just see a show of hands, at least one of those is going to resonate with all of you. Anybody? Good. All right, you recognize those, so I don't need to go through them. But we developed our platform, and we had to use the technologies that we used because of these issues. No golden record, no single version of truth, for example, different formats, timeliness of data, data silos. Where that probably the rubber hits the road for this is where you see the following sort of challenges. Where you want to introduce a new system, and you have to integrate that new system into lots of your systems like this. Say a new e-commerce platform comes along as well. Well, doing that is pretty complex. So we've tried to take a lot of that challenge away. When you want to do business reporting on that, obviously it can be very complex as well, but you get the point. Right? I'm sure many of you have hand-drawn diagrams like this over lunchtime on a bunch of serviettes, right? So have we. So creating a single real-time version of truth, a 360 degree of your data, is very challenging. It's always costly, complex. When you try and, for example, create a single view of inventory or product or customer, you end up with something like this. And I'm sure you've had the conversations with your marketing teams where they say, I've got a single view of my customer, it's in my CRM system. Or you'll talk to a BI team and, oh, we've got a single view of our data, it's in our data warehouse. But trying to release that data and make it available for other purposes, trying to integrate new systems into that is obviously very, very challenging. And that's kind of why we've come up with our platform. I'm sure many of you have... Sorry about that. I'm not sure what that last one is. My daughter told me to put that on. Apparently it means something rude. When you throw in GDPR as well, you have data challenges within an organization, whether they're regulatory, whether they're integration, whether they're real-time, whatever it might be. So why are traditional methods failing us? It's probably worthwhile to understand the old way of doing things, where you used to extract, transform, and load your data from your operational systems into a data warehouse. You have your reporting tools which fit on the back of that, and those reports which you develop really represent the views and aggregates and summaries which you've created in the data warehouse. And then along comes System C, where you want to introduce that into your reporting ecosystem. You have to create a whole load of new ETL processes, a new bunch of tables, a new bunch of reports. And then try and change something, or a new data entity comes along. This can be really challenging. In terms of what I mentioned before, looking at that last point, really, data warehouse and CRM systems really maintain the silos, but all of this are challenges that all of us meet every single day. And when we go and talk to our clients, our customers, they're all facing these every single day. What's the answer? Well, there is no magic bullet, certainly, and not only technology will help solve this issue. A lot of the time, we start with a non-technical exercise, which is really discovery. And I'm sure all of you, and I'm not trying not to teach you all to suck eggs here, but we believe that the technology only solves part of the problem. So if you want to address this, you really have to address the underlying fundamentals, which is why you got into this mess in the first place. So we do take our time. By the way, anyone know where that's from? No? Minecraft. Yes, very good. I didn't know that either. My daughter also told me that. So we do a process of discovery where we look at the data, look at the governance, look at the business change, understand the issues behind the reasons for that data discrepancy and the data complexity in the landscape. So what does good look like? Well, everything that I showed you before around decoupling your systems. You start to have a look at the events that are coming out of these systems, and you probably need some form of integration in the middle. We, of course, have something like this. We typically compete with people like MuleSoft and TIBCO, but they are big beasts and normally big sledgehammers to crack a nut. We find now that using a lightweight tool set like we've developed actually is a much lower total cost of ownership. And for us, there is no reason to use those sorts of integration platforms anymore when most of what you need is actually in the cloud partners that we partner with, like Amazon and Google. So I showed you this before, but one thing I will say is, well, let me just click on, sorry. I'm having clicker issues like I did this morning. I don't know why that is. Here we go. You've seen all this? Oh, yes, Couchbase. Right, this is where I want to get to. When you're doing this, don't try and solve it all in one go. Do it incrementally. Pick off a few systems, create a minimum viable product, an MVP, normally presented to you by an opportunity in the organization. So that might be they're selecting a new e-commerce platform or a new ERP system. That normally for us is the opportunity when we come in and do, you want to do integration properly now and you want to solve your data problems properly. Very rarely have we come in just to solve a data issue. Normally it's on the back of, we're going to go live with a new e-commerce platform, we're going to go live with a new ERP system, we want to integrate it in the right way, we want to get the data out in the right way. Saying that, this is a very good solution, and the architecture, the reference architecture which we're showing here is actually something that's helped a lot of our clients just from a data perspective. And obviously right at the heart is that single view, which is Couchbase. And once you've joined up all those systems, I think creating that single view of data is the imperative, but after you've got that implemented, then overlaying a set of reporting infrastructures is actually a reasonably simple thing to do afterwards. But again, that Couchbase repository for us really represents that canonical view of the data of the organization that you can do what you like with. You can either feed it through to your other systems or feed it through to your reporting system. Why event-based is important. You heard a little bit about Couchbase implementing the new eventing feature. Why it's important for us is we believe all the data that you collect is immutable, right? You should never throw it away. But in addition, all that data really are a set of interactions that create that transaction. So every event really can be very valuable to capture. And so if you're trying to trace, for example, a customer journey or the route of inventory flowing through the organization, these events actually are just as important as the transaction itself, because you can build up the picture of what actually happened and what occurred to make that transaction happen. And if that transaction doesn't happen, what are those events that happened along the way that made that transaction fail? So it's a nice fancy diagram just to say what I've just said. But, so we've got a good example at the top. Customer logged in, searched a product, viewed a product, added to the basket. You heard about this morning. And eventually, the order was accepted in that transaction. Now, that transaction is really important for the organization because that's where the revenue comes in. However, there are a number of steps that happened along the way. And if you can analyze that, you can analyze the reason why customers may churn, why they abandon along the customer journey, and they abandon the basket, maybe why they return goods. And we found presenting that information to organizations, and you're going to hear a little bit in a minute from FitFlop about how that has helped them, has provided enormous amount of power to their ability to analyze and create insight into the organization. A little bit more techie stuff now. So the first part which we talked about, which is really all around the microservices-based, event-based integration, that's all in AWS. They are, each microservice is a set of Lambda functions. We use Kinesis as well, which is really our event bus. Those microservices talk via other microservices real-time into Couchbase. Couchbase with an E, there it is. And each of these source systems, we have different layers of microservices. We have microservices that are connector services into these source systems. We have microservices which really are event processing microservices, and we have some which feed out data into Couchbase. We then move that data from Couchbase using Databricks Spark. So you heard from Perry before about the connectors to Spark. So we use Spark to move the data into Google BigQuery. And then in Google BigQuery, we have a bunch of data engineers who create views, and we can then submit those views to any of these visualization tools. That's really how our platform worked. Anyone can build that. We built it. We've got it as an accelerator to various industries: retail, financial services, travel, anything really that's B2C. And the data model we have here is normally about 80% okay for any organization. Normally the remaining 20% are going to be the nuances for any other organization. Make sense? Good. Okay, so I'm going to skip on quickly. Why Couchbase? Well, I'm sure many of you here realize why Couchbase, but for those who don't know, these are some of the reasons. It has provided for us a very, very real-time environment where we can move data very, very quickly. You know, if I'm going into a business and selling our platform, they always ask me why Couchbase, because it is the only licensable part of the platform. These are the reasons I normally talk to them about. Okay, so I'm delighted to welcome to the stage actually one of our key customers. They've been with us for 2.5 years, and I'll let them talk about it. So please welcome Tom from FitFlop.
Hi everyone. Let's hope the clicker works. Cross your fingers. Yes. Okay, so show of hands. Who here has heard of FitFlop before? Okay, a few. That's kind of what I was expecting. That's good, so it's not a waste of a slide. We were founded 11 years ago. We're a global footwear brand, and we're in 66 countries around the world. And our shoes are based around three bits of a triangle, which I've spared you from that other slide we've got. It's about comfort, fashion, and biometrically designed shoes. And we aim for, you'll see in the top right there, we aim for super women. So that's our target market. But we do have men's shoes as well, I should add. It's a small range. We were traditionally a wholesale business, and we've seen our growing B2C channel, so a growing digital arm. So we reach our customers through distributors and wholesalers such as John Lewis and Amazon, but also for our own direct web platform. So I just wanted to show you some of our shoes as well. The marketing team would kill me if they saw this, but I just took this off our website yesterday. So you can see we've got shoes from kind of £20 up to 165, all kinds of things. Not all, classic mistake people make, not all flip-flops. But you should never say flip-flop and FitFlop in the same presentation, because you'll never be able to switch back. So we had a challenge. We ran a project with Xiatech over the last 18 months, and we had a big challenge. So we had an existing web platform that was very static, so there's a lack of newness in terms of getting product onto the site, but also the site looked the same every time a customer went there. We had a commercial deadline to potentially get off this platform if we wanted to. We were stuck with legacy integration, as Jonathan was describing. We had business systems in need of a refresh, so we've got what I would term a legacy Microsoft ERP running on Microsoft SQL. We haven't replaced that, but that's one of our challenges. We have siloed data and a legacy data warehouse. So the legacy data warehouse we've got, the GUI is Excel. So we've got a business that are just mired in Excel hell, sharing Excel with each other, and there's never really one source of the truth, and it's always one day out of date. Always one day out of date. In the old wholesale world, that might have been okay, but with our B2C channel getting so important to us, we needed to change that. So we also had the opportunity, we talked about the fast-growing B2C channel. We also, you would have seen our shoes there, they're not all closed-toe, so we used to be an open-toe brand. This is all like shoe speak. Now we've got closed-toe, which means we can sell all year round, and because we want to reach our customers directly and get a kind of revenue stream that's slightly more evened out throughout the year, there's a real key opportunity, like persuading some of those wholesalers to change and have the closed-toe has its challenges. Also, there's an obvious benefit in having a direct relationship with our customers. So those of you who have heard of FitFlop, I hope you've bought from us. If you've bought from us direct, then we can have a much better relationship with you and tell you about all our great new products. Much harder to reach you through Amazon, John Lewis, albeit they are great partners of ours. We had multiple operating models that we want to support, so distribution, wholesalers, B2C. And I talked about the analytics we had, all Excel-based, says it already. So what do we do? Well, we worked with Xiatech to put in what we call this technology ecosystem fit for the future. What that really meant was a new e-com platform, the integration and data lake. So integration and data lake, really that is the SDV that Jonathan described. So as far as we're concerned, that pretty much takes care of those two bits, those two small bits on the right. We're a very small IT organization with 15 people worldwide. So we're not going to build this. We're not going to build this stuff on our own. We need a partner to do it and leverage all these great technologies. And we had the opportunity in launching this new ecom platform. So that's what Jonathan was talking about with, launching this kind of thing on the back of something else. So for us, that was a hybris ecom platform that we selected and delivered, and then the technologies you've seen in the previous slides from Jonathan. So what did that give us? Well, you put in a new e-com platform, you would hope that you get a modern web platform that you can trade, basics. We've seen our conversion go up, especially on mobile, which is so important for us. We've seen decreased decreased basket abandonment, and our customers coming back to us for all the reasons I said. We've got a direct relationship with them now, so they want to come back, and we can market to them exactly what they want. And then on the data side, so I absolutely love this internally. It's so good. People kind of get tired of me talking about data lake this and single source of the truth that, but we really do have all our data. We use Google BigQuery as our data warehouse, our data lake, and we've got data coming from Hybris, from our ERP, from all our business systems, and we have BI analysts come in and work for us. And I'm just going to quote one of them. It's like a breath of fresh air working with your data. There's the kind of, I don't get into the data. I'm not that technical, but these guys absolutely love it. We're able to give really great insight to the business. They'll tell us what they want to do, and they'll kind of expect us to say we're going to go away and take 2 weeks to put it all together. And I kind of say, well, all right, give us an hour. We'll knock something up for you. We use Tableau as our presentation tool, and that makes it really easy as well. So we've got a 360 view of the customer. We know everything the customer's doing and what they've bought from us, when they've bought from us. We know what products we've got globally. We know what purchase orders we've got coming in, what stock's going out, what stock's reserved, what sales orders come in. We know what our margin's going to be on all that stuff. And we've done this kind of on top of our legacy ERP. So our legacy ERP is like 3 instances of the same ERP deployed in different countries globally that talk to each other in a really horrible way and not very reluctantly. This has given us that view the next level up. So we really have that global view of information across systems. That's what I've got to tell you. Jonathan, what did I miss?
You actually covered everything, thank you. But one thing that was interesting for us is because we used Couchbase as our single view of everything, we were able to provide a single inventory view, which I think there was one example in Christmas, I think, which you might want to...
Yes, because we have this legacy ERP, sometimes you should be able to see this stuff in it, but it's not easy to get at the information. We freed up a large amount of stock that we didn't realize had been accidentally reserved over Christmas. So massive win for us just to be able to release that stock and sell it to our customers. And we were able to do that because we had this lifted up view of everything we had, and that came to the fore.
Brilliant.
Right.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you very much. So it's not always easy to get a customer to come and talk with us, particularly where you've got a technical crowd. But unfortunately, I'm now have to offer him a discount for next year's managed service fee. But thank you, Tom. That was very insightful. Just to share with you, because we do try and talk technology most of the time in these sorts of places, but I wanted to kind of give you an idea of some of the other things that we talk to our customers about. So the ability to extract this data and the events real time has really provided massive benefits for our customers. Real-time Black Friday dashboard, for example, one of our key fashion clients were able to extract all this data which they previously never were able to see real-time and able to trade their website in real-time so they can make real-time trading decisions. What that meant, they had a carousel on their front page with all the key items, top 10 items, and they kept selling out of them. And they didn't know they were selling out of them. So when we came on board delivering this platform, using the technology that we described, we're able to give them this dashboard, gave them real-time insight. They could change all of the transactions on the website, so all the products on the front page of the website to make sure they were only the ones showing that were in stock. Massive benefit for them. Other things like integrating Internet of Things. So you talked, I think you heard earlier in the keynote speeches around IoT. We worked with another fashion retailer who were implementing radio barcodes in their shop. So when they went like this and did a wand on the shop, they suddenly had hundreds of thousands of transactions of inventory they previously never had. Couldn't deal with it. So we had to take that data, event by event, pass it through our platform in nanoseconds, well, microseconds. Nanoseconds is showing off a bit. We didn't really do that. But yeah, it was kind of nanoseconds. But yeah, and so for them, this was massive. You know, they didn't know what to do with the data, and suddenly we had a place for them to put it. In terms of accelerating new systems, normally you take about 9 to 12 months to integrate an e-commerce platform. We did it in 3. And future, what can you do with that? Well, because of that, the architecture, the way we've got it very modular, we're able to provide real-time insight and analytics that will then therefore enable cross-sell, upsell, personalization, etc. Yeah, more of the same. So future possibilities for our customers, I think a lot of them are just scratching the surface in terms of what they can get at, but huge amounts of things that we're going to be, that are untapped at the moment. Well, I think I've got tons more I could speak about, but I think I'll leave you with that. Any questions at all? I think we've got a couple of minutes for questions. So, anyone like to ask anything? You can make it technical if you like. I was only joking. What's for lunch? Oh, yes. Okay. I think we've got a microphone. Have we got a microphone flying around here somewhere? Oh, go on then. Nice and loud if you don't mind. Yeah.
So you use Couchbase for your database in your single data view. So how easy was it to operate the database? Because it seemed to be more complex from the operations point of view, at least the way we see it. So how easy was it to maintain the database as such, the service?
So the question was, for those that didn't hear, how easy is it, was it, it is right now, how easy is it for us to operate Couchbase and I guess the rest of the architecture as well? I would say I can answer that in 2 ways. First of all, the environment in which it's hosted, so AWS, obviously for us, we've deployed most of that architecture in a serverless capacity, so we use the serverless tech from Amazon. Couchbase, we've actually got an EC2, and therefore there's a little bit more administration. But actually, compared to SQL Server, Oracle, any of the other big databases, this is a dream. Yeah, it really is. It's far more simple for us to maintain and manage and monitor this than it is for other more traditional commercial databases. You know, our DevOps team is small. Yeah, we don't have to have lots of people. Literally, we have quite a few clients. We have 2 DevOps guys that really run the whole thing. And that is everything for every client, our entire platform. You know, it's really that easy. Does that answer your question? Yeah. Good. Is that a question? Are you wiping your eye? Oh, okay. Don't do that in an auction. Yes? Do we call Couchbase directly from our lambdas? Yes, I believe we do. Yeah. But if you want more technical answer on that, I can put you in touch with our CTO who can tell you more about that. Yes. Why do you ask?
I understood that the Couchbase SDK maintained the hash map with where to locate the servers and the life cycle, the land, the maintenance of the hash map, whether that
Yeah.
introduced any
No, I believe we have direct connectivity from our Lambdas. How it's done, the guys can probably tell you. So come see me after, I'll give you my details and put you in touch with them. Any other questions? No? Good, I'll just make sure I've told you everything. Oh, yeah, no, nothing else really. Just a few marketing slides really. That's it. So anything else I can answer from anybody? Anyone want to ask the best-selling shoe from FitFlop? I don't know, I don't have access to the data. Good, all right, well, look, if you want to get in contact, come see me or email us. Thank you for listening. Cheers.